Once you have used Form Central and the Create New Form tab to create a new form from a template, it gets added to your My Forms tab within your interface. And what I can do now is simply double-click it within this area to open it. Now at this point, my form is still sitting on my desktop. So basically what Create New Form does is go out and access the templates available within Form Central, download it onto your system, and within your system, it's located in the My Forms area. One nice feature about Form Central is that you can take an existing form that you've worked with and you can duplicate it. So it's possible to reuse your forms as form templates directly within the My Forms area. You don't always have to go out to create a new form to work with another version. Now to open this, I can select it and click Open, or I can simply double click and it loads that specific form. Once the form is loaded or opened within Form Central, I have the name of the form right here with an X. If I click this X, what it does is move me out of this design mode and gets me back into the interface where I can create a form or open, duplicate, delete, etc. the forms that I've been working with so far. So double clicking you can think of as moving you into design mode, so to speak. This is where you design and customize your form. And right now this form has a cake and it says cake order form. Now if I click within this area, you can see I get this little dotted border surrounding it. Now if I clicked the trash can up here, what that would do is completely delete this entire header. As long as I'm clicked within those boundaries, what it does is bring up the properties so I can modify that header if I wish to. I can change background colors, alignments. I can even change where that image is located. So I'll move it over to the right and you can see it's now on the right hand side. The other thing I can do is remove this image altogether. One thing to watch for in this area is if I switch it to text only, it eliminates my image. But if I try and move it back to image only or text and image, notice it wants me to go out to my computer to access this image. And I don't have that original cake image on my computer. So just be aware of that. You want to make sure that you really want to delete those images. Now, quite often you will want to do that. I just wanted to point out that little feature. Now, organization name. This is a form, and that's where they would write in their name. So since it's a form field, if I click it, notice I get a trash can. To delete that entire content, I get a plus sign that allows me to add something over here. And I also get a plus over here to insert above. And a lot of these pieces or form elements, you will notice the same thing occurs on. If I click this little area here with all the options, it looks like I'm going to get something and I really don't. Now if I move down to this next one and click on it, it selects it. If I click this piece over here, you can see I can just kind of ignore that. So think of that little line area as letting you know what you've selected, and you also have the double border here, or the little dotted border. So to modify any piece of this form, you simply click on the area and you modify from there. Another nice feature of this form, and this is the part I really like, is this area here where it shows cake size, shape, and pricing. You can see it's all in vertical format. But if I select that area by just putting my cursor inside of it, notice what I can do. If I come over to field type, which is popped up now, I can change how this looks. So I can make it a drop-down menu if I want, so it doesn't take up quite as much space. Now when I click off of it, or if I go to preview this, this little drop-down piece would not be showing on the form. So it just converted it into a single line drop-down menu instead of what we could refer to as a list box as a form field element in Acrobat itself. So it's back to single selection because I've moved down into this area. So let me click in here again, and I'm going to switch it back from drop-down menu back to single selection. Now this piece here allows you to include this other. If I didn't want that, I simply uncheck it. So you can see how this interface really reacts quickly when you're working in the options within the properties. I can even make it a required field by checking this. Now, as far as the rest of this is concerned, if I'm in this interface where the cake fillings are, this one is organized horizontally. And if I decided I don't like how that looks, I want it more vertical like this piece up above, what I do is move over into the properties for that area, and notice I have one that says Stack Choices Vertically. I'll check that checkbox, and I now have it stacked vertically. I like that feature because it allows you to quickly and easily move your form fields around as you determine what fields you want to position where. Now, if I decided, now that this is vertical, that I wanted another field to the right of it, what I would do is come and use this plus sign. What this allows me to do, once I click the plus sign, is choose another type of form field. So I can add another one. And let me add another single choice field. Here is my field, and you can see I have those same options. So I can drop in. Over here, cake fillings was added already. I can drop in as that label whatever I want, and then go ahead and add my selections, including adding many more. So this interface, I think you'll find, is really flexible. I didn't add anything, so it does look kind of funny, but just know that if I hover over it again and click, I can get back into that interface. But I think you'll find Form Central is fairly easy to use in terms of its customization and working and modifying the form fields as you need. And I do have this piece down at the very bottom of the form, and it allows me to modify a few other things. So notice I can add an item. Now what you want to do is watch this area here just to the right of Add Item. As you hover, that's where it shows what it is you're hovering on. So even though this one looks like a bunch of radio buttons, it's actually adding a rating scale to your form. So that is the Form Central interface for designing and working with forms. The rule of thumb is place your cursor over what you want to modify, click on it, and you get the interface to modify those specific pieces that you've chosen. The plus signs allow you to add additional information either above, and you can see when I hover over there, you can see it, or I can actually add content to the right if there's space. Now this name has date of event over here, so there's no space to add another one. So notice there's no plus sign. Over here there is a plus, and I can insert it beside this form. So that is a brief overview of the Form Central Form Design section within the Design tab within Form Central. Once you've actually created a form from a template, it opens it up and you're automatically placed into Design View where you can modify your form as you need. If I close this up after modifying, here is my cake order form, and I can always reopen it from here. So that's an overview of the Design tab within Forms Central.